is the time.
Forever? Tangent. Hold.
Halt.
Hashtag always MGM.
You are approaching the unloading area.
Calm down. AK haters.
But what if it could? Behold, the majesty of the
breeze.
Sistine ceiling.
For the kids.
A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World.
Ha! What a cute ending.
Aloha and
Don't Dillo it.
This is Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Dish. She is Jen.
Hello.
It could be January 2nd here. I'm Frank. Oh, hi, Jen.
Oh, hi, Frank.
It's 2025, apparently. Lewis and Val are here. They haven't left since the last time we recorded an episode.
Why can't I leave?
Please let me go. I've been in this box for so long.
Oh, please help me. Thank you.
It's like Superman. They're like, oh, I'm trapped in the... What was that called? That thing? The thing that flew through the air with the three of them in the triangle prism thing. That prison. Anyway, hi. So before Jen had a plan to do a bonus extra here that we would drop on January 2nd. But I actually have a real question because it's January, which means that next month I will be going to Disneyland for the first time.
Yeah.
So I figure maybe just Lewis and Val each, they could just give me like, this is what you got to do the first time you go. And see, I'm putting them on the spot here. Didn't prep them for this at all. And now I'm rambling to give them time to collect their thoughts, put them in order about what they might say. And so I will now turn it over. Disneyland, February 2025. What do I do first? And what do I do? How do I make the most of my time?
Matterhorn.
Yeah.
That was special. It hurts, but it's special.
I gotta go to the Matterhorn.
So many things popped into my head when you asked that question. The Guardians of the Galaxy, I thought I was going to hate it because I love Tower of Terror so much, but it's spectacular on its own. So don't talk yourself out of doing that. Do that. Corn dogs really are better. That's
Red
not
trolley,
just
I
hype.
think it is.
Yeah, the red trolley corn dogs.
All right.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to pay respects to gosh, I'm so sorry, my brain just went blank. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited about Mr. Toad's.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I didn't understand it.
This was like, this is what you've been talking about all these years. Yes. How many rides do you get to go to hell in? That's just so cool. There's just so much. We really, really loved it so very much. And so there's just and the nice thing is Lewis got really great. And I obviously everything's changed a billion times because we went 2019. We were going to go back in 2020 and couldn't. And life's been crazy for us since then. So we haven't been able to get back. But Lewis loved just the way you're just right across from both parks. And so you can set up passes for the different parks and just go back and forth and really enjoy your time. So
yeah, and yeah. I'm still thinking of what to do. There's so many things. It's so small but so big at the same time.
Cars Land, I think you've talked about in the past.
Cars Land is spectacular.
I cried, which I know is not unusual, but walking down that street, I've never felt like I walked into a movie before the way that I did that day of walking down that street and seeing that. And so it was really incredible. So
Galaxy's Edge is supposed to be the same but different too. Not just for the characters,
right? And that's like a big one that I'm curious about because we did a planning situation, so the reservation window was coming up, and I was like, I mean, I think you got to put in an Oga's for me, regardless. It's like I have to do Oga's on both. I was like, and that will actually get me because I feel there's a part of me that's like, will I make it into the corner of Galaxy's Edge? Because I don't like. There's other things to do. Well, I know what Galaxy's Edge is, but I'm like, but if I go to Oga's for a drink in the middle of the day, at least it'll get me that way and see the similarities and differences.
That's what I love, because Pirates feels so familiar but feels so different. Haunted Mansion feels so familiar but feels so different.
man.
There's so it's like I said, it's this very weird feeling of knowing where you are but not knowing where you are at the same time when you've been to Walt Disney World as much as we all have.
Right.
Yeah.
That it just was incredible.
And that is a negative. Things like Pirates, you'll be like, wow, why didn't we get that? Because it is much longer and it's much more interesting. Small World, characters on it, IP on it notwithstanding, it goes outside. There's a lot of it that's outside.
Yeah.
If it rains like it did on us in February, you'll get the most entertaining thing ever where people are panicking, like, what's happening? What's this falling out of the sky?
Cast members were just freaking out because it literally rained all day one day, like poured.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what to do. Like the cast members were like going, this never happens. What and we're just standing there in the rain because we're used to it. And they were very confused. It was very funny.
Oh my goodness.
The most surreal experience is going into the Haunted Mansion because on the outside it looks completely different. On the inside it looks very much the same but different.
Well, and you have this walkthrough part at the beginning that you don't have it. It's just I mean, just try to see as much as you can. We were unfortunate we didn't get to see the castle because it was being refurbed. We didn't get to see World of Color. We didn't get to see the nighttime parade. We didn't get to see Phantasmic because all of those things were under refurb when we were there, which is why we were immediately booking another trip because we were like, okay, we've got so much we didn't get to see that we want to see.
Covered by a freaking tarp. Just the tarp. And later they painted an image of the castle on that tarp. But this was just a big old piece of canvas cardboard right in front of the castle. We couldn't see it.
So so we stayed at the Grand Californian, and it was just so cool to just walk into the park from your resort. It was just awesome. We can't say enough wonderful things about it. You're going to have a great time.
It feels like going to a distant relative's house who was like a brother of your father, and they were twins, but one of them decided to make this big city house. One of them was this little small idea, and they sort of built the same things, but they're sort of different.
Yeah.
And Disneyland is so compact. It's a very small place. You can walk around it. I had to do that to go get some groceries one day. Because we didn't, you could only get 5 days of tickets, and we stayed 6 days and didn't realize, you could, if you bought that 6th day, you had to pay full price, and that was too much.
Yeah.
So I walked around it, and it's so small, but when you're inside it, it does not feel small at all. It feels huge.
Well, it was so funny because we went when we got to the resort. We were thinking, well, we'll just pick up, because a lot of times we'll just pick up groceries at the resort, in the shop.
Yeah.
They didn't have any. There was nowhere on property where you could get and so that was why he was like, but there was a grocery store down the street. So it was just this very surreal, very weird kind of experience.
And from the seat, you could see the top. You know how when you are on the Skyliner and you're coming into Hollywood Studios, you can see the top of Galaxy's Edge. When you're walking around the place, you can see that from just the street.
Yeah.
That close.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So we did Carthay. It was our anniversary, so we did Carthay Circle for dinner one night, and it was excellent. And all the food and stuff there was really good. All the quick service places, all the places that we went, we really enjoyed. So
that is on my list of reservations to be booked, and hopefully it is booked by now. But if it is January 2nd, in fact,
and what we're saying is, since we've only been there once, everything was great.
That's what I need, though. I need to know what was great the only time you've been.
It's just not as good as the last time we were there.
Yeah.
I hear that all the time from people. They go to a restaurant and it's really good. And the next time they're like, this was not as good as the last time. Memories are just too perfect, right?
Yeah.
You can't. I don't know how you do it nostalgic, because every time nothing's as good as it was, and I think that's what old age is just complaining about. Back now, our phones were smaller, and they you could call on them still with a phone or there, you know.
Lewis, did you not think the second meetup was as good as the first meetup?
That's a good question. Be honest.
Actually,
It's a new year. It is time to be honest in the new year, and we're getting everything out in the open.
You're asking us to pick our favorite child. You can't do that. You just can't do it. It's not possible.
There were pros and cons to this.
Mhm.
No, having more people there was great. That was the thing that made the second one better.
Mhm.
It also means there's less connection to the people there, right? You there's pros and cons of a small conference and a big conference.
No, and we talked about Epcot is a beast in that kind of situation, and food and wine on a Saturday, but some of the people who were in wanted to do that on it, so it made it
It's hard.
It was great to see everybody in that format in that same day, but Epcot and what everyone loves about Epcot makes a meetup of that size challenging.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That would be mine, but I think I will say, if I'm being honest here, in the new year,
It's the new year.
I think at the time I was like, I didn't know if it was hitting the same way because we were doing more. We were at more parks. We were doing, but as time went on in the month or 2 months after, I was like, no, we did a lot of really good stuff during that time. And so like I felt like where the first time it hit, it was great. And it felt great the whole time. And that stays with you. This one, looking back on it, I was like, well, we did a lot of really cool stuff. And so I liked that the second one kind of built in my mind over them.
Well, you have so many core memories that you build in these events, because it was just like when we were at the park the other day, I was going by, we were going from Tomorrowland Terrace restaurant into Tomorrowland, where we stood and watched the fireworks that night. And I just literally just stopped there for a minute and just like looked at that view of the castle and thought, what a fun night that was, with us standing there watching the fireworks and us doing a little video and the pictures. And so, you have these memories now from these trips that's become part of my Disney, it's my Disney memories, that as I'm going through the park, that I think about, oh, remember when we did this? And so that's what you guys have brought with the meetups that make it so special.
And there was nothing bad, so you don't have any bad memories.
Right.
So the good memories become like perfect. So every time you do it again, it'll either exceed or you'll be like, yeah. I think the only thing I missed was I want to have more of those times. Like we had the barbecue restaurant, which was a nightmare, right? But it was also, we were all there hanging out and talking.
It was so long, Louis. The time that we were there was so long.
I was tired, so I liked it. But and the pedals thing I missed. It's all Angela's fault. Okay, Angela.
Blame Angela.
Yeah.
No, the pedals. I really wish everybody had been at the pedals thing at least once, just hanging out, talking about stuff.
Well, it's just like, I think Jeffers mentioned in the episode last week or 2 weeks ago now that that when we were at Ellen Compass, we sat there and talked for hours. Like literally our waiter had to leave. Like he said, somebody else is going to check on you, but I've got to check out. Yeah. And so because for us, just getting together and sitting and talking is what's so special. I mean, we do attract. I mean, it was great to see Muppets together and things, and to do things together and to ride attractions together. But we just love to be able to spend time together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I get that's not what everybody had time for or desire for, even.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's why I don't bring in Mama and Papa Dillo as the wild card, right?
Oh, there you go.
Will it be in November or December? It's now January, so I feel like that we're gonna have to.
Oh yeah.
Decide.
We'll discuss. We would have discussed it by now. Maybe at Christmas. Maybe we brought it up. Maybe it was on last week's Christmas episode.
Correct.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe they've bought you DVC packages for Christmas.
Oh my God, Lewis. Highly unlikely, but
In real
Here's your
time, as we
$30,000 Christmas present.
Yeah. In real time as we record this, Mama Dillo today was like, "Did you want anything like specific?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take an annual pass and a full Disney vacation." And I mean, if you're asking, then yeah, I have
Go for it.
specific things.
Yeah.
Yeah, the annual pass is a bad thing if you're not planning on going because it will make you go.
You just have
I
to.
spent
well, no, you,
$1,000 on this. I gotta
Yeah.
spend some thousands over here, right?
you have to take your shot. I was shopping with
Mhm.
my oldest granddaughter a few weeks ago, and I was saying something, like, what were you thinking about that you were wanting for Christmas? And she's like listing little things, and she was like, I've always wanted to go to London. I was like, I respect the fact that you took your shot.
You throw it out there,
You put it out there. You let me know. It's good to
Yeah.
know.
no, and the 8-year-old, she's been taught since she was like 4. She, Fancy Nancy, she's been wanting to go to Paris.
Mhm.
And when she's 10 is what she has been saying. But now they got this Harry Potter baking show that's on, which is
Yeah.
a lot of it is on the studios, and I'm like, oh
Mhm.
God,
Mhm.
they're just going to this because she's like, this is a thing. This is you can go here, and I was like, you were just at Universal Studios.
Wasn't that fun? Remember?
I have some friends whose initials are J and S who will probably hear this because they listen to your show. And I'm trying to recruit them to the collective and all, but
Mm.
and they did it and really had a great time.
It looks cool.
Nice.
I'm not gonna lie, and
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't visited more movie studios in my life. Quite honestly,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, living where you do, I would imagine
Yeah.
that.
even though listen,
We
I'm
see filming, but they're on the streets. Studio stuff.
Is living in New York like living at the beach where you don't go to the beach because the beach is right there? And here you've got like all those things. I was walking past so many things when I was there going, I want to go there, I want to go there, I want to do this, I want to do this.
We were eating dinner at a restaurant for Mrs. Dillo's birthday in December, and across, which is right by the 8-year-old school, and they were filming a Stars TV show right on the block while we were eating dinner. And I was like, "Hey, that's where we live. We live
Right.
we live here. That's okay."
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But it is true. Like if people who live, especially in a building where they're going to be filming on that street for like a week, they're not happy. They're not happy that filming is going on. They're very annoyed by that because that's New York.
Oh, I bet the people who live next to in and near that building that murders in the building hate that.
Yeah.
Yes,
'Cause-
I know. Well, and that's when I went last month or so, and because we were going to Central Park, and I'm like, oh, we should park over there so that we could see the building and go. I mean, people are there taking pictures. Like we were not the only people doing that, and they were across the street taking a picture and all that kind of stuff. And I saw that there was a condo for sale. So, $4 million and I'll be in.
That's a lot. I don't know. Is that something that's
Can't imagine.
I've been saying for like a year, I just gotta go walk over there and see the building. But I've also been saying for 30 years, I just gotta go see that diner, the exterior of Seinfeld is, and I gotta go downtown to see the apartment building on Friends. And like I don't do
All I
it.
want to do, I'm like, I'm going to take a whole You've Got Mail tour around the city. I'm like, I don't do that. I went to the restaurant, the one when the rose in the book and the thing, if you know the movie, but I haven't, but I always say that. And I'm like, do I just need to take one of those bus tours of the movie tours and just do it? Just go through it. Yeah.
No, I was looking at that picture that you sent me from the Only Murders building, and I was like, that would be so cool. I was just looking at that the other day.
Yeah. But I mean, we're just tangenting now about New York and filming. Back in the day when I moved back to New York and I worked in the Palm store in Rockefeller Center, during that time, around the corner is it Christie's? Right? Is that what I want to say? The auction house. And they were filming the Sex and the City movie for a while. And so on a Sunday too, and me and my coworker were just swapping so we could run out and just watch for a while and then come back, and then she would go, and so we would just try to watch scenes as much as we could and see what we could see. But yeah, there's been a few of those that it's always, to me, being a TV and movies kid in person and whatever, like it's always cool to me when I run into that stuff in the city, and it's happened a good amount of times. But yeah.
Have you been to a taping of SNL?
No, that
Neither one of you have?
No. I've been on the NBC tour, so I've been in the studio,
Right.
but I haven't been.
It's hard to get.
It's hard, yeah.
Really?
So,
Yeah. And you got to do it at the right time, like as soon as it opens, like over the summer or something, and then that's it. Like, and then the window closes pretty quick. That all the tickets fill up for the whole season, and it's crazy.
Wow.
Frank and I. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Liz.
Oh no, I was gonna say I would assume it was a queuing kind of thing.
Yeah. Now people have tickets like months in advance. Now there's probably like an overflow, and in case people don't show up, there's probably some sort of standby line. But I haven't.
Now we're old. I'm like 11:30.
I know. I'm not doing that.
I don't want the dress rehearsal at 8. I don't want that. If I'm going, I'm going.
I'm going big. Yeah. Frank and I have been to tapings of Montel, The View. What was our other one? There was another one we went
we
to.
did Colbert.
Oh, Colbert, we did.
Both Colbert Daily Show.
Correct.
Yeah, The Rapport and The Late
The
Show.
Rapport. But we didn't do The Rapport together.
Yeah.
We did that separate? We were at The Rapport together?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't recall that. And I feel like there was something else. I feel like there was some other random, like The View or Montel. I feel like there was some other random show that we did, but I don't remember what it was.
Well, and I had, I think this is still when everything was shut down. I had the season finale. I don't know, is the third or the fourth season of Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, right.
When they were in the hall. So
that's right.
That was the rare time I might say one of the two words in the name of my workplace. But, but you watch it. That, I mean, just watching that episode of Maisel and knowing that was like the big climax there of no pun intended, I guess, of Lenny and Mrs. Maisel, that but it also the venue and just how big of a moment was, like, really for them, but also where it was big, like everything about it was big, and I love that I was like, I was in the building. He was yeah, I'm blanking out his name, right? Lenny Bruce was out behind the stage door as I walked by and like gave me like a what's up to me. Like what? Like, so crazy.
He's gonna be, I'm also blanking on his name, but he's going to be in Amy Sherman Palladino's new Amy Sherman Palladino's new show. It's being filmed now, I think. The ballet about the dance company.
Oh, okay.
I hadn't heard.
Ooh. Yes.
To go along with those Walmart commercials, the Gilmore Girls.
That's right.
I know, that was so fun. They said they did more, so there's supposed to be more. So
yeah,
I've only seen the one, but.
Just another side note. Since we're, and this episode is fine because we're going to be talking about TV anyway.
Yeah.
Val, have we talked about Army Wives before?
Yes, I finished. I watched the whole.
Okay.
Binge watched the whole thing.
Once or more than once?
Just once.
I mean,
I've
that's
not gone back.
Probably that's a normal person does. I on the other hand, have watched many times. But I just discovered that there's a rewatch podcast, which are my new favorite kind of podcasts. And
really?
So with Trevor and Roxy hosting. So I just started that like the other day.
I like the rewatch. I like all of those.
Yeah.
Podcasts too.
That was Us podcast. I'm big on that one. That's a good one for This Is Us. Anyway, Lewis, you're listening to all of those.
I was trying to work in my anecdote about seeing a TV show being.
Oh, Lewis, please.
We moved on, so
we're still here.
Lewis, we never move on. We just talk in circles. What do you mean?
We just let go.
I think it was like 20 years ago. I was in LA for a day, and I went and saw Unhappily Ever After.
Oh, nice. Uh-huh.
I don't think you are old enough to even know what that is. Probably.
I do know what that is, Louis. I do.
Okay. And it was a weird experience just seeing how they cut this thing up. And
Yeah.
you know, when you say live film for a live studio audience, it's not all of it, just
Uh-huh.
some of it, little parts of it. And then some of it's on screens and they entice you to laugh.
Right.
I actually laughed really hard once, and I got a script that somewhere I've seen it recently.
Nice. That's
And
really
Jen,
cool.
we've been to wrestling TV tapings as well.
Oh, sure.
Oh.
At Disney MGM
In
Studios.
Disney, so it all ties
So-
together. That's true. Good
But
point.
that's why I asked if it was a queuing situation. There, they
Yeah.
didn't have tickets. They just, you got on this, you went to this place, you got in this. It feels like you got on a bus, but it was
Mhm.
this dark place because they do them at night.
Yeah.
It was just really kind of creepy and cool at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
There
That's
were several things being taped, so you picked the place you were going.
yeah.
I was a big Fox fan at the time. So.
I feel like that's part of my problem with anytime I think about Disneyland, I'm also like, but I'm gonna need a studio tour during that trip. And I just make the trip longer in my head. And I'm like, oh well, now it's longer and more expensive.
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like I've ruined. I mean, tried like in the past 15 years that I've been with Mrs. Dillo. But I'm like, I've never been in California. Can we just start in San Diego and just drive up to San Francisco
Mhm.
and take 2 weeks and do all the things that I've
Mhm.
never done? And she's like, 2 weeks? What do you? I was like, but I need to go like to all the baseball stadiums. I need to go to
Mhm.
Disneyland. I need to
Mhm.
go to the
I want to go to the
studios.
museum and I
Yeah.
want to go to the studios and I want to,
Yeah.
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 No, I know. And that's the thing, because I've like flown into LA, but like I've mostly been in San Diego or San Francisco, and that's where I've actually spent like a little bit of time. And that's all we talk about. It's just driving the coast and doing it all again because I love it. I love it out there and buying a house somewhere.
And you may not know this, but there's a lot of traffic.
I know.
A lot of traffic.
But I'm used to that here, so it's
Yeah.
okay. It'll feel like
No.
home.
It's bigger. It's bigger.
It's worse.
Actually, I don't know. I did drive there. I did not drive in New York. That was
Mhm.
I did that. We did that about 20 years ago in our sad trip to New York, but that was terrifying. I don't think I would ever want to do that again.
But you overcame it now that you've been back. So are you good? Are you like back in?
Oh yeah, I'll be back at least once this year. I'm pretty sure.
All right.
Maybe 2 or 3. We'll
Oh.
see.
Oh.
See?
It's still budgeting time. But there's a couple of conferences up there that
We're still in Q4, so we'll see.
our company's doing a conference there.
Mhm.
If it goes through, you know how the world is.
Jen has recorded this, set this time aside really.
Yeah.
To just would you like to present because we know Louis has the Christmas list of episodes.
Right. We've discussed that in a few years during the holiday season that you have an extensive, how many is it on the list?
On the
I think
Christmas
Christmas
list.
We have
has like
Thanksgiving.
400.
Oh.
Christmas has over 400 things in it,
Wow.
which I've never actually completed. I haven't seen all these things.
And that is strictly like episodes of TV, or does that include movies? Does it include anything else?
Episodes of TV, movies, specials,
Okay,
whatever I might want to watch. So then I check them off and
Okay. And do you check them off every year?
I check off as many as I can. Yeah, usually 200 is the most. It depends. This is a short Christmas,
Yeah.
and we went to Disney. I didn't watch any TV when we were at Disney because it just hurts.
Sure.
Time to watch TV at night.
Yeah. But I asked while planning, because that's what we do here at Dillo's is we plan a lot. While planning this podcast, I said, is there also a New Year's list? And I hear that there is. How many is on the New Year's list?
42 on the New Year's video list.
All right.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
not
because-
as many New Year's television episodes as you would think that there would be.
Yeah.
Now, Jen, are you posing this and wanted to talk about this as a reason to once again share the content that is us doing the Ross and Monica Dick Clark Rockin' New Year's Eve dance?
I mean, have to share that once again. We probably already did by now. By the time this episode has been released, we've probably shared it on social media once again.
However, that is a Christmas episode because they tape before. You know that, right?
Oh yeah,
That's true.
You being of New York.
Yeah.
Tricky. That's tricky.
Because Ross explains it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They rock the hardest.
Is your list in like a certain order? Is it like these are my favorite, like the top 5 are my favorites, and then anything I get to watch after that, or is it just random?
It's mostly random. I have certain things that are marked as important. I use Microsoft to-do lists.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pose my one. I don't want to like squash or like like no spoilers for Lewis's list, but I do want to. Since I already am wrong with the Friends episode, I want to see if this episode also falls short on MASH. They start at the beginning of one year, and end at the end of the year. They got a whole Brooklyn Dodgers, New York Giants storyline throughout, but you got old man year and baby new year at the beginning and end of that episode with Potter as the old man. So is that episode of MASH on your list, Lewis?
Yeah, I count that. What?
Yes.
What is it? A war for all seasons?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
The MASH episodes, Christmas, all of them are a bummer, right?
They're
excellent. They're
They
very
make me
well
cry.
made.
Yes.
Lewis, this
Dear
is what
Dad.
was Christmas Eve. Was you watched the MASH episode where they had to turn back they turned forward the time into December 26th, so that the soldier didn't die on Christmas Day.
Man.
You got Winchester with the hat in a different episode. Oh, the revelry. Oh, the toboggan hat, and he then wears in the other episode. Come on, classics.
Yeah, I prefer like the "Twas the Day After Christmas." The
Boxing Day episode.
because that one's not. There's no sadness there that I recall,
Mhm.
like the others. But yeah,
What is marked as important on this New Year's list?
so there's a Mad About You episode where they're filming the ball dropping, which is excellent, called New Year's Eve.
I forgot about that one. I actually
That
like
one?
that one.
Right? Yeah, I gotta write these down.
Let's
That
see if
was-
Val just remembers them right off the top of her head.
Yeah.
There's that 70 show finale, which is I hate that shows from the past keep getting tainted by the ridiculously bad behavior of people. But
Mm-hmm.
that one's I still watch it, but I have to turn my brain off a little bit on it.
Right. Understood.
Big Bang Theory has the Justice League recombination, which feels like a Halloween episode, but it's
Well, it's at the comic book store, so that's a good one.
Yeah.
And then all
Third
the
Rock
Friends New Year's episodes
yeah.
obviously
Mhm.
are really high on our list.
Yeah.
And so the one with all the resolutions, I love.
That's a good one.
Yes.
and
Not a pot.
what's the other one?
Oh wait, what?
Season 1. It was one of the most ridiculous storylines I had, and this is bad.
Oh,
considering
that's the one
Walker
with
race-
Paulo. Yeah, where Paulo
One with
is
the monkey.
white and she gets her lip hurt, and
Yes.
then she's because they were all going to have no dates, and then they all ended up with dates except for Ross.
Right.
I mean, the monkey did lead to one of the funniest scenes in a show where they think the monkey's trying to spell out.
That was I still say to this day that was my favorite line on any sitcom ever. Because I still laugh when I hear it. We think he was trying to spell monkey. He take the monkey to the hospital when he swallowed the Scrabble pile.
Yeah.
That to me is like the greatest joke ever, and so I still laugh hysterically at that. So
And since season, we're in the 30th anniversary of season 1 of Friends here as we talk. Just we're all
Oh,
going to throw up
good.
right now. But what's funny to me about is that I didn't watch season 1 of Friends. Everyone was talking about Friends. It's the show, and I was like, and then they had the monkey, and I was like, I'm not watching the show with the monkey. And and then I moved to Florida in August of '95, and like I don't know anybody. All right, I'm gonna watch Friends, and that was it. That was all it took. Was a couple of episodes of reruns in the summer. I think they ran more then because they wanted everyone to catch up to it as it was entering season 2. But it was always funny. I mean, I don't think I was around as much to watch season 1 of Friends, but I just remember everyone talking about it, and it was one of those things like I had this friend, and I don't know if Jen will recognize the friend by how I talk like him, but no, I am not watching that. He would be, sometimes when people talked about something, no, he couldn't watch it because it was too popular. Everyone was a Mets or Yankees fan, and and he'd be like, some Japanese baseball team fan or something.
But were you a fan of Seinfeld at the same time?
Oh, Seinfeld I was in on from the jump. And that was just, I think I liked stand-ups back then. So that was a natural progression for me.
I like sarcastic people. I like the show about nothing at part 2 because I like my sitcoms to be 30 minutes and then something happens and the next week it's 30 minutes rather than having to tie things together. And Friends, the whole Ross and Rachel thing was just so tedious. and when you go back and watch the episodes, like I like to randomize and just pick an episode, and sometimes you're like, oh no, it's in that one. Nope, that's a no. That's a no. Oh, that's a yeah, but then she did that. No.
And while yes, over the 10 years, it's true, but if if it gets keyed up that the episodes of when Chandler and Monica start, like that string of episodes from when they first got together until Phoebe tries to seduce Chandler is like the greatest run of episodes you can watch.
No, there's just so many. No, it's just so perfect. It's so great. Yeah.
Oh, and the holiday episodes were fantastic.
Oh yeah,
always.
I like the show. It's just that there's just so many things in there that, because I don't think I watched it with her originally, and then I went back and watched it and really liked
the bottle episodes were always like my favorites, and so I loved it when it was just the 6 of them in the apartment. They would do something, and so
and that, what is the name of it?
When they get ready.
Yes, when Ross has got the "Could I be wearing any more pants?" That episode where it's just in the apartment the whole time. It's all of that. I love that episode. I think it's so funny, and it's just and to your point, I think it's just them in the apartment and just all the shenanigans that are happening and everyone's personalities. And Monica's freaking out about the message, and like
that's the only thing about that episode that drives me crazy is I feel so sorry for Monica. Like I get that embarrassment. Like I just feel for her so much. It's just like
Wait, is this the episode where they're all late?
No, this is where they're all getting ready. Like we're. I always think of that episode because that's where Matt LeBlanc broke his dislocated his shoulder. So I love hearing them talk about that story about when he's jumping over there, where they're fighting over the chair, and
but they're going to be late for Ross's something, getting an award or something.
Speaking or
see, I can't watch that one because Ross is so freaking annoying. Ross is like,
but it's everyone's personality is on display, and that's who Ross is, right? Ross is freaking out like, come on. It's like, Ross, stop.
No, just go in there, do this. And I'm like, why are they still friends with him? I do not understand. If you had a friend who did that to you, you'd be like, nope, I don't think that's it.
I love because there's an outtake of Ross and Phoebe on the couch in the coffee shop where they were trying to do a take and they kept messing it up. But Phoebe just finally says something like, Ross is just so sad. Like she was like she went totally out of character. Just was like, Ross is just, do you know what you're like? No, it was just like, So it's just so funny. So Friends.
Sorry, Lewis, back to your important episodes on your list.
There's a Frasier episode, Road Warrior, where they get lost in the desert. That's a really good one. Frasier has some really good Christmas
Yes.
episodes too.
Yes.
Miracle on
The
3rd or 4th.
Mrs. Moskowitz episode of Frasier where Niles ends up dressing up like Jesus is probably my favorite like farce on television ever. It's just everything about it is so funny when he's convincing the mom that he's Jewish. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
see. I love the one where Frasier's at the diner and loses his wallet.
Oh,
And
that's a good
everybody
one
thinks
too.
he's
Yeah.
poor, like because he's
Yeah.
got the whole he's wearing the clothes and he's trying to sneak into the car at the end. That one I think is really good, a good holiday one. So there's a good Modern Family one where Billy D. Williams is in it, where Jay takes them to where he used to go for New Year's Eve. It was really fancy, and now it's a dump. But they have this night of all of this crazy stuff that happens, and Gloria's trying to get her grapes, and I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have two, New Year's Eve and Ringmaster Keefe.
Oh, I love that one too. For the one with Frasier. I can't think of it. Kelsey Grammer's in it. It's a good one.
Have you guys given the new Frasier a try or no?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think that they're working on some of the characters a little bit. That they're not quite there, but we have not been. Honestly, though, I am behind. That's the problem that I have. That we have this discussion all the time about because we watch Thanksgiving, like from Thanksgiving through
from
New
Halloween
Year's
until
and Halloween, really Halloween through through New Year's, and we get behind on new television. Which wouldn't be that big of a deal now because I still feel like we don't have a lot. Like we never have enough television news stuff right now for some reason. I don't know why, but the problem is that then we end up having to watch the new Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween episodes like in February, and that just annoys me. And so I'm always trying to get him to stay up with shows so we can watch their holiday shows. But this is not an easy thing to do if you're thinking of doing this.
And then they get added to the list.
If since with your Christmas you have specials and movies and involved, so I want to ask with New Year's is When Harry Met Sally on this list because of where we land at the end.
It's on the list. It never actually gets seen. It's on the list.
Look at that.
I will see it more than he does
because you only have a week. Okay, so really 2 weeks. I feel for New Year's.
It's a great New Year's Eve movie
until New Year's. So Christmas until New Year's is the main time. Then you have like a week maybe of before you're less like, okay, I'm ready for no more of this insanity of holidays. I want to be back to normal.
Jen, we would have to do Cat's Deli on a Dillo's New York meetup, right?
Oh yes, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Love me some
When Harry Met Sally is one of my all-time favorite. Like it's in my top of all-time favorite movies. Yep. And so
I prefer the original personally, but I like it.
What?
Wasn't that the Shop Around the Corner?
No, When Harry Met Sally.
You've Got Mail.
You've Got Mail is also one of my favorite movies. That's why he's confused.
It's also not Sleepless in Seattle, if that's where you're going next, Lewis. They're all different movies. Thank you. They're all my favorites.
They're all the same, actually.
They are not. They are not. Because I like You've Got Mail at Christmas.
I
always
feel like it's more of a fall movie.
Yeah, it really is.
Fall. Yeah.
The smell of sharpened pencils.
Yes. What other movies are on the New Year's list?
Let's see. Trading Places. I haven't seen that movie in 20, 30 years, so it's not like I watched it.
But it's on the list.
Holiday Inn. Ghostbusters 2.
Oh. Okay.
I think that's it. And Happy New Year, Charlie Brown, of course, which again is also one of those you're like, why am I watching this?
Why is the movie New Year's Eve not on the New Year's list?
Because I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's not that great. It's not that great. It's the same time. Like there was that Valentine's Day movie, the New Year's Eve movie. There are like these, like they were trying to be Love Actually, but you're not going to be Love Actually. Like it was kind of like
No,
that.
but they gave it a shot. And
Which one was Taylor Swift in? And then I couldn't.
That was
with Taylor
Valentine's
Swift for years.
Oh,
That was
Valentine's
Valentine's.
Day.
Day,
Yeah.
wasn't it? I think.
Right.
I
And
think.
Julia Roberts, like they're getting all these people, and
Mhm.
it's like, but you're not, no, but we're missing
Mhm.
something here. We're not doing it.
It's
Yeah.
not.
That sounds
No.
horrifying, by the way.
He is not a rom-com guy.
No.
He does not like my rom-com.
If
Obsession.
occasionally they kill them off in the last act,
What?
Are
That's not
they-
a rom-com then,
they're
Louis.
all
It's a
bad?
completely different movie.
That's
I
a
need
that's
some
a tragic com.
There's a reason why he likes Blackadder so much. There's a reason why he likes Rogue One. It's his favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I mean, in Rogue One they had to die, so they died. I knew it was coming.
All right, Lewis,
Speaking of okay,
go ahead. Have you ever watched Happy Feet, the Penguin
No.
movie? All right.
no,
I want you.
do they
I
all
want
die?
you-
I'll watch that.
No, I want you to watch the movie, and when
What
it
penguins are
when it gets to a certain part in the movie, I just want you to turn it off and pretend it ended that way. But that's all I'm going to say about it.
Oh,
Oh man, what was that?
challenge.
Now it's good to watch it.
Write that down.
Because
For
when the
after the
movie kept
holidays.
going, I was like, this is no. I wanted it should have ended at a certain part, and I was like, yes, take a risk. And I was like, oh,
Speaking of TV shows where people died,
Yeah.
How I Met Your Mother is
Mm,
The
The
Limo is one of
Limo.
the greatest,
the limo. Yes.
Yeah.
and I
Yes.
can't.
That has Frank's friend in the episode. Frank's
Wait,
friend
what?
is in that. In the
Oh,
limo.
that's
The
right.
Limo?
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I
Yeah.
Who's
forgot
Frank's
she was in it.
friend?
What?
Yep.
My
Yep.
cousin. Right? It
Your
wasn't my
cousin at the Renaissance Festival.
So my first year at the Sterling Renaissance Festival, Lenny Burrows had a cousin,
Mhm.
and the cousin is on that episode of How I Met Your Mother. That is
Mhm.
hilarious.
She is Ted's date.
Yeah.
She's not just like on the episode somewhere.
I mean,
Ted's date in
seriously.
the limo.
Yeah.
She's the hugger. The one that hugs everybody.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh my
would've
god, I
guessed
watched that
that, yeah.
episode now.
Oh, yay. No, that's one of our favorite ones. We watch that one every year.
Mhm.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
so
that's really funny.
But-
I forgot about that.
I was like,
Oh
wait a
my
second,
god.
wait. We're talking about that episode.
Wow, just blew my mind.
Yes. I wanted to go back for a second to rom-coms, Lewis's favorite topic. Lewis, if you had to choose one rom-com that I won't call it a favorite, but that like you would be like, fine, I'll watch this. What is that movie?
Probably When Harry Met Sally. I think that's
Oh,
up
all
on-
right. Okay.
It might be the only one I remember watching. And there's some uncomfortable parts of that movie to watch, but there's also funny parts. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of funny parts. It was a good movie. I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember liking Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh god, it's just kill just
Okay.
a dagger to my heart, Lewis.
Welcome to my world. Like I try to get him to watch, and if he ever did, which I haven't tried to get him to in a long time because there's just no point because
Mhm.
he'll fall asleep through them.
That's hard with Sleepless in Seattle. And Lewis, you might not be able to speak to this. Val, you can probably speak to this. While You Were Sleeping has recently become a topic of discussion, I feel like, as to whether or not that is a Christmas movie, because there's a lot of Christmas involved and it's like
There
taking
is.
place around there. I don't know that I've ever thought of it as a Christmas movie, but I do get that. What do you think?
I get that completely. I love that movie. That's a big favorite of mine. I've watched it a billion times,
Mhm.
and I can definitely see it. And I'm trying to think. I feel like I watch it more in the later time of the year,
Mm.
and I don't know if it's just because it is on maybe TV and I catch it or something. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I've probably seen it more, but yeah, I think I would consider it a Christmas movie.
I think the Friends episode did it better. When he wakes up and goes, "What? I'm out of here."
Phoebe and Monica are fighting over taking care of him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
See, these movies perpetuate. I can't even say it. Perpetuate stereotypes and situations that are not real. They give
Mhm.
certain people beliefs That thing's
Mm-hmm. We can take a deep dive on that another time, Lewis, I think. Yeah.
we thought we were like, oh, we're gonna be able to do 20 minutes. Here we are,
Right,
at like
here we are.
45 minutes.
I mean, and don't make me tangent too much on those. All right. What are we missing on this list that, like, if you were to recommend a New Year's something from the list, what would it be?
well, I've a few more left,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the most recommended would be New Year's Eve from Mad About You, because that one
Mm-hmm.
that's very tied together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's anywhere to see Mad About You right now, but
Yeah.
it used to be on Prime.
Mm-hmm.
They came back, now they have commercials, but
Yeah.
obviously the one with all the resolutions with friends, that one's excellent. And then Road Warrior,
Yeah.
probably the ones that are, if I'm like, I have to watch this,
Right.
because I do have things that I watch, like there's things that I really want to see, and like at Christmas is Community and Friends and just a few others, News Radio, there's things like that.
Yeah.
And New Year's is not as much of that.
Mm-hmm.
But those, the Big Bang Theory, Justice League, Recombination.
Yeah.
I mean, like How I Met Your Mother has Tailgate, and that one's kind of sad.
I like Tailgate though. That one's a good one. I like the Marshall episodes where Marshall's telling stories, and I like his brothers. I think they're funny, and
yeah.
So
it is an interesting episode because I have this sad thing, and then they have two silly things going on around it. Right? That kind of takes away the sadness.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. I mean, that's kind of what all of this is, right?
Well, I think a lot of their episodes are like that too, because you've got the other New Year's episode for How I Met Your Mother is the one where Robin, it's the one where they open puzzles and they have the bouncer from
I love puzzles.
McLaren's to come up, and he's got the wet New Year's Eve hats. But that one's when Robin decides she wants to be on air again. So you have that. A lot of their holiday episodes kind of have a poignant kind of storyline that's going along with them.
Actually, that is the Tailgate episode, by the way.
Oh, is that the Tailgate episode? Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought that was I had that two separate in my head, but because that was one of the Christmas episodes that he hates is the How I Met Your Mother Christmas episode where Robin finds out she can't have children.
Oh, so, that episode.
I don't need that much heaviness on.
Right.
Unless there's something
to die, but you don't want that kind of sadness.
you want that.
Well, no, okay. So let's put it this way. I respect that, right? As a story, I don't think everything has to come out great. I mean it better than the way they ended it, where they got divorced and they made us watch a whole season of that stupid story on the last season.
Well, we could do a whole How I Met Your Mother deep dive someday. Yeah. But what's funny is, when you get that episode in particular where you go, oh, it just shows you how good the characters are on this show. But it makes you so angry because you're just like, you gotta move the thing forward. We gotta get to the end game. And what's so funny about that last season, I haven't seen many of them, but once in a while I'll catch like a final season episode out of sequence somewhere. And I'm like, it's a really good episode. It's really funny. But I was so mad during this time, even though it's a really funny comedic episode of television.
Yeah. Oh, I agree completely. Individually, because Lewis called the mother being dead like in season 3. And I remember our daughter and I got so angry at him because we were like, that's ridiculous. Why would you even say that?
Yeah.
And then as the reveals were happening, of course, we're going, I cannot believe he's going to be right. and I could have dealt with that.
Yeah.
It was selling me on Robin and Barney.
Yeah.
So hard.
Yeah.
Because I could have even gotten over it before that last season. But they sold them on me again and then ripped it away from me. So it's like that was and that's the same way with like Ross and Rachel. I don't have a problem with Ross and Rachel until the Barbados episode.
Mm-hmm.
when they tried to stretch it out one more season, they should have gotten them together after Emma was born.
Mm-hmm.
Stretching it out one more season, that's what frustrated me.
Well,
So again,
and they had to take the awesome chemistry Rachel and Joey had developed and dynamite it in order to get to the end of Ross and Rachel.
Yeah, so
Fact
so
that they'd
those are
already
the
done
things
that
that bother
too.
me. It's when they stretch them out for more episodes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what they're doing. It's not that wasn't part of their story. I think they were going to get Ross and Rachel together after Emma was born, and then they got renewed for one more season, and they had to have a storyline. And I think that's the same thing for How I Met Your Mother. I don't think they planned on that last season, and they get desperate, and that's when they blow it. Like to me, it's you know.
And it just tells me that they didn't see them together as being a good thing to watch. Because why wouldn't they have done in a season with them together?
Right.
The mother on How I Met Your Mother, obviously, we don't want to watch them.
A perfect mother. I mean, she was perfect. I love that actress anyway. Like,
yeah.
She's
amazing.
on the Penguin now, right? She's in the Penguin.
Yeah,
she's on right now. I think she's
when she sings Sophia Rose.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kristen so good.
And Milioti. Yeah.
Love her. But yeah, it was just like
Okay, so Dillo's pop episode coming up, where we dissect How I Met Your Mother, because I have so many things going on in my head right now, and I'm like, no.
Is it? When did it end? Did it end in
How
2014?
I Met Your Mother episode, but I want to say so many things.
Or 2015?
It's 2015.
If it ended in 2015, then we'll be on the 10-year of the.
Wait, it ended in 2015.
When was the last episode?
Look, because it was before we moved back to Cleveland. Because we did our daughter did this whole party for me because How I Met Your Mother was just my favorite.
Yeah.
She had the intervention banner, and she made she had coffee cups with swirly written on them, and she did stuff from the whole series. She had the whole she fixed our whole living room up with she surprised me with for the finale, and then we sat there and cried through the whole thing. But because we were like, I can't believe you're doing this to us. And the fact that Robin and didn't stay in their lives. Why? Why did they do that? I don't, because they had all these stories, all those years of remember, how Aunt Robin loves Halloween and she took you here.
Right.
She does this. There's no way she could have done any of that if she no. Don't get me started. Okay, sorry.
The last episode was 2014, not 2015.
Excuse me.
It was 2014.
We're old.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Well, over in our Discord related to Dillo's Diz Resort.com, I just posted a little something in connection to Ted's date on that New Year's Eve episode.
Oh, excellent.
And Lenny Burrows. So make sure you check that out. You get to see vintage 2000 me with floppy hair. I mean, it's not great. It's video from 2000. So, it's not going to be, but check that out over there. Lewis and Val, thanks for doubling down here on episodes of being trapped in these screens for 2 weeks.
Yes.
It was so much fun. Thank you for asking us. We enjoyed it.
Happy New Year, Lewis.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
You too.
Lewis, you got a resolution for 2025?
Oh.
Put him on the spot.
I'm gonna say list on podcasts.
Okay.
I'm hoping for no broken bones from Lewis in 2020. No surgeries needed.
All good health and smooth sailing of a year. I like
He
that.
actually walked down those steps at Animal Kingdom where he broke his hip last year and said, "See, I can actually walk down steps without breaking a hip."
Gosh,
My goodness.
I'd be hiding my eyes.
All right. I'm like, it's okay. Oh, yay. Okay.
I don't know. To be serious though, I do want to figure out this whole social media thing and either give up or double down.
Right. That's the fork in the road we're all at.
The way things keep changing, and
yeah,
I don't enjoy playing the games that you have to do, the algorithm games. Telling half stories.
Yeah,
I have this, and it cost me $10,000 a year, and it's just terrible. And people are like, "Why?" And you get like 1,000 people replying. Why is this? What? There's more
just gonna-
details. And you're like,
I'll just say about Blue Sky right now. I go over to Blue Sky and I get so overwhelmed by trying to find people I know on Blue. I'm like, I can't be on here right now. So like, I feel like Threads. I'm like, I'll just post a thread. That's fine. Or I go to Twitter because I'm comfortable there, or whatever. But that doesn't sound right at
Comfortable
all.
with posting. You're comfortable with posting and the Disney community that we've made.
Yes.
That is what we're
you know,
comfortable with on
all this
Twitter.
fame insanity.
But I go to Blue Sky and I'm like, I don't know how to find anyone right now. I can't do it.
Yeah, no. Oh, that's the, like you said, that's the big thing, is wanting to decide, because I keep going back and forth in my head. Do I want to let X go and just do Pal Mickey on Instagram, which I haven't really done a lot of.
Yeah.
But it's just hard because I like Instagram, but we've been on Twitter for I mean, that's how we met everybody. And so I don't know. It's hard to decide.
Instagram's not very social.
Yeah.
It's a good place to find out cartoons, commercials you haven't seen from people you know.
It's not a good place to say something funny, like a quote post, a quote tweet, whatever we're calling them now. Like to be able, like what would we're waiting for him still, but what would Adam do without Twitter? Like he is so funny on the quote tweets.
Oh my God.
Like that's it.
There is no one, to me, there is no one funnier than Adam when there is some sort of screenshot from an event, a game, an award show, whatever, and the way he captions them, like so quick, like this just happened, and you captioned it so perfectly and related it to Disney. Like, how did you just do that? So funny. I know.
That's why we have to stay on Twitter.
I know. It's hard. I don't want to let it go. So I don't know.
I know.
All right. Well, happy 2025, everybody. We did it. We made it. It's still 2024 when we're recording, but
but we're being positive. We know it's going to be good.
We're
bye.
Deuces. The Dillo's Diz podcast is hosted by Frank Cardillo and Jen Cardillo Snyder. Music produced by Matt Harvey. Logos and video production courtesy of Snidillo Studios. Dillo's Diz Resort is our Patreon with tiers starting as low as $1 per month. You can visit dillosdizresort.com to learn more. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X Twitter, and Facebook at Dillo's Diz. Check us out on YouTube by visiting youtube.com/DillosDiz. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there. We also have merch available on TeePublic and Etsy. For all this and more, visit our one-stop shop, dillosdiz.com. Dillo's Diz Podcast 2025.